Welcome to CPAC Now, America Uncanceled. We are here in Washington, D.C., in our nation's capital, on the National Mall for the March for Israel. Now, there are thousands and thousands of people lining the streets, lining the entire National Mall in support of Israel and the Jewish community. So let's take a walk around and see what people think about what's actually happening over in Israel regarding the Israel-Hamas war. And why is it so important that America stands with Israel during times like these? Okay, so I see your sign here that says, "I don't feel safe on campus." And we're seeing all these different protests across college campuses supporting Hamas. What is your take on that?
Honestly, because I'm a Jewish person, I definitely have a different perspective than those who are supporting Hamas and vice versa. But I go to a school that is predominantly pro-Palestine. I go to GW, and there have been many protests that have been against just the hostage situation in general, taking down the posters that have been put up on our Hillel. And I find it really disturbing because hostages of any religion or people or race or ethnicity are hostages, and people and just normal people belonging to families, and I feel that they should just be able to live their lives.
So why is it so important that we have bipartisan support for Israel right now?
Israel's one of our longest allies. I mean, they've been with us. We've been with them for years. It is really important because this is not a partisan issue. You look at the stability of the Middle East, you look at the values that they have. Take South Carolina for an example. South Carolina started as a religious freedom colony, and it's really remarkable to see the Jewish population, the Christian population, really anybody come to South Carolina, come to the United States for that religious freedom. So this is us standing with Israel is part and parcel to all of that. The protection of our values, of our religious freedom, of our freedom of speech. Israel stands with us, and we stand with Israel.
Why do you think it's so important that America stands with Israel in times like this?
Basically, Israel is America's best friend in the world. She's helped her so much in America's battles in the Middle East. It's about oil, it's about power, it's about American control in the world, and it's a wonderful partnership that has to be, because it seems that there's a polarization of interest, it seems, and the allies in Europe, almost a repeat of history with World War II. And America and Israel have always been an amazing alliance, and I think this misfortune now will only strengthen it.
Israel needs all the help it can get. Israel was the subject of a terrible terrorist attack. It's fighting a group that has made very clear that it does not wish Israel to exist, that it wants to kill all the Jews. It's a Nazi organization in effect. They don't call it that, but that's what it is. And Israel needs the United States' help, and that means it needs both parties' help.
When Republicans and Democrats stand together in this country, the whole world sees that message. It's important we stand together for our ally Israel. They've been attacked by a terrorist group who wants to annihilate them, and we need to support peace and defend our allies. And that's not a partisan issue. Right. A lot of issues down here are partisan, this one's not.
Here with the roving anti-Trumpism bandwagon. That's pretty interesting. How'd you come up with this, first of all?
I've been doing this since Trump got the nomination in 2016, because I'm from New York, and I wanted to do what I could to save him from the rest of the country.
Okay. So save him?
Save the country from the rest.
Okay.
Country from him.
So we're in this middle of this whole Israeli-Palestinian Hamas war.
We are, yeah.
How do you think Biden's handling this compared to what Trump would have?
Well, I don't know what Trump would have done. I know Biden went to Israel. I don't think Trump would have gone to Israel.
Well, Trump did, broker the Abraham Accords, which was bringing peace.
Right, but Trump didn't. Well, first of all, that's kind of in shambles right now. Secondly,
under Joe Biden,
under Hamas attacking Israel, which is
it would have never happened under Donald Trump.
So what would Trump have done? Tell me, what would Trump have done? You answer a question.
Right, I just told you.
What would he have
He
done?
brokered the Abraham Accords that was bringing peace.
What would he have done to stop Hamas?
He already did it. They weren't attacking Israel. Under Donald Trump, no new wars broke out.
And under Trump, we had COVID. Does that mean Trump caused COVID?
No, China caused COVID.
But so anything that happened under Trump is not Trump's fault, but anything that happens under Biden is Biden's
fault. Were there any wars that broke out under Donald Trump?
Never convinced those people.
I know.
Totally useless. I know so many good souls who are completely clueless. They have no depth.
You know that Trump is using the exact same language as Mussolini.
What does he do with this? Trump, forget him. He's not here.
Yeah, but he's running for president. He's going to ruin the country.
are here. They're the ones ruining the country. Look at
okay,
our
fine.
economy.
Yeah,
Look
okay,
at
goodbye.
cost of gasoline.
There you go. They can never answer a question. Do you mind answering one? So
question.
I just want to know how you think Biden is handling this whole disaster.
I think he's handling it better than I have expected because I've always thought of him as being a complete marionette, and he's only saying what Comrade Obama told him to. But maybe somewhere deep down in his soul there are some real feelings. I don't know. He's handling it better than I would have thought because at least for now,
Right. He did say.
pushed Israel so hard as to stop attack. Right. That's basically what he can do.
Right. He did say that he fully stands with Israel, that America stands for him.
That.
So we got that going for
I
him.
don't believe that, of course. I mean, you can say anything at all. I don't think you can. You have to do actions, not just say words. But the only action that U.S. could do right now is make them stop. And
Right.
as long as we haven't, I think good for him.
How do you think Joe Biden is handling this situation? And do you think it would have happened under a Trump administration?
No, it would not have happened under the Trump administration. And no, I think that our administration has led to this. Our administration and Obama administration has led to these events, and they're very soft, and they need to be much harder and not support terrorist organizations, and absolutely would not have happened under Trump. He proved to us that under his administration, we had no wars anywhere.
How do you think Joe Biden is handling this situation from the American standpoint? And second is, do you think that this would have happened under President Trump?
Oh, it's a fabulous question. God bless Joe Biden. Under the circumstances, I think he's doing a more than credible job. If Donald Trump was president, I do not believe this would have occurred. I do not believe that Putin would have acted in Ukraine, and the world situation would have been so much different. But this is what we've got, and we've got to make the best of it. But Joe Biden, God bless him, he's really been more than credible.
All right, so I see your hat. Love your hat. So
Thank you.
how do you think Joe Biden's handling this? And do you think this would have happened under President Trump?
I do not think this would have happened under President Trump. Trump would have ended this like that. And
He's out of breath because he was just partying over here.
I was just running. I'm still out of breath. I apologize. Trump would have done a lot better in this situation. I don't think at the beginning Biden didn't do too bad for the start. He did a lot better than a lot of people thought he would do. But I still think Trump would have handled the situation a lot better. And I think the war would have been over so much sooner. I think it would have been over by now.
I expected there to be a little protest here, but this is not the protest I expected. We're seeing Jewish anti-Israel, anti-Zionist protests here. They're calling for rejection of Zionism, that all Palestine needs to be returned to Palestinian sovereignty according to the Torah. So what is your reaction to what's going on behind here?
My reaction is like this. 1,200 Jews were murdered, 242 in captivity. It's disgusting for me to see the Jews would support this. All the rabbis are against them. They're putting, nobody agrees with what they're saying. Listen, whenever you have a big nation, I guess you're going to have a couple different opinions, but it's disgusting for me to see that after 1,200 Jews, I want to see what happens if they go to Gaza looking like that. I think then they'll be on our side, you know?
Okay, so I love your sign. It says, did you dance on the streets on September 11th? I assume that means, were people dancing when 3,000 Americans were killed?
Yes.
Okay, so we're seeing what's happening all across America on these college campuses. What do you think about that when college students are so brainwashed that they're supporting Hamas?
I saw recently a list how much Arabic countries invested in our colleges, into the so-called education, how they infiltrated the leftist professors into this education. And today we have indoctrinated generation of the students, and also they learned how to bully Jewish people. But fortunately, they act prematurely.
I think it's just that people are unaware of the truth, and it's easy to follow what society and what's fashionism, it's fashionable, it's like it's a trend. They don't really see what's real, and like I think it's about time everyone opens their eyes and sees the truth, what's evil and what's wrong. They hope they choose the right path and stop being, blurred. It's like a blurred vision. They have to take off that lens and see the truth.
Honestly, it all comes from miseducation. A lot of people aren't exactly informed on exactly what Hamas is, what their goals are, what their motives are. For all they know, they're so-called freeing Palestine. However, in my opinion, they just keep 2 million of them hostage.
All right. So last question. So we're seeing all these different protests on these college campuses. What do you think about these college students supporting Hamas?
I think they're misinformed, and they see this stuff on TikTok, and they don't understand what's actually going on, and they get what they see from TikTok, and they're not actually seeing the real world. They're getting it from social media.
So we're seeing all these different protests across these college campuses. Why is it so problematic that all these students on these college campuses are supporting Hamas?
This was what boggles my mind, quite frankly, because freedom of speech matters and we always protect it. But to lock Jewish students in a library, to harass them on campus, this isn't who we are. College campuses should be free speech zones where you can speak your mind, you can hone your debates, discover who you are, and they're not even allowing speech to take place. We just had a hearing on this in the House Judiciary Committee last week. It's reprehensible and disgusting what is going on our college campuses today.
It's a sad reality that there's some bad information out there, and some people need to do a better, universities need to do a better job telling the truth to students on campus about what terrorism really is and what evil really is. Do not equate the two. Okay, they should not be equated. And too much on college campuses, they're equating Israel defending themselves from terrorists attacking, trying to kill them. And so I frankly, we need to call on college campuses to stop anti-Semitism and tell the truth about foreign policy.